Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? Uh, yo, I don't wanna lie, bro. I wasn't even feeling like doing this, but yeah, let's just go. Let's get it done. And mm, I really didn't feel like doing this today. But anyway, um, yeah, man, let's just do this. So I'm gonna be doing the trading plan for um, what date is it today? Let's start Monday. Let's start from Monday. Let's start from Monday. You see this trading plan? I don't know what I need to do, bro. I don't know what I need to do. Do I need to connect my desktop somehow to Streamlabs? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's use the 1 minute for now. Let's use the 1 minute time frame. Ugh. I'm really not in the mood today. I don't wanna lie. I'm absolutely not in the mood, bro. Yeah, Monday wasn't a profit. Monday was, we took losses on Monday. Okay. So this was last week Monday, right? I'm sorry guys. I don't know. Today I'm just not feeling well, bro. I'm not feeling well today. 19 what? Oh, 19th of May. Okay. So I opened up my trading plan on my Excel spreadsheet. I'm gonna be filling in these columns, and then yeah, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. The first thing I'm gonna fill in these columns of my trading plan, and then while we fill them in, we're gonna be identifying what went wrong, what went right, what we need to improve. So those are mostly the two things that we'll be doing today. So yeah, let's just start. Let's just start from last week. No, this week. Is it last week? Because some people think the week starts on Sunday. So yeah, let's start from last week Monday's trade. 19th. The date was the 19th of May, and yo guys, don't forget to join the Reddit. Don't forget to join our the Reddit. The link to the Reddit is in the bio. Is in my YouTube bio. Okay, this is where I started making that mistake. So the first column is the date, the second column is the position and lot size. So under the position and lot size, I've been making a mistake. I've been saying 0.8 and it's actually 0.08. It's not 0.8, it's actually 0.08. The market is XAU USD. The instrument, so usually the instrument, I write down what it is that I saw that led me to taking this trade, right? That's usually what I write down under the instrument. So if I remember properly, this week was a bit a hit of a miss. It was a bit of a hit and a miss because this week we didn't really have a lot of clear setups, you know. We had a bunch of setups looking like this. Right? So this one right here looks like a footprint. It looks like a footprint. It looks like a footprint without it looks like a footprint without a first layer. Um, something happened last week. Something happened between me and D operandi, and I think one of these days I need to talk about it because from now on going forwards, I I no longer want to associate myself with anything to do with him, you know. I'm gonna start like taking credit for everything. I'm gonna start dissociating myself from anything that has to do with the brand of the operandi, anything he owns, anything, I'm completely gonna disassociate from that guy. So it's gonna take a while trying to figure out like what to really rename all these things just to avoid you know yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So let's get back to the instrument. The instrument here, obviously this looks like it's the first, we have a first, the first trend line. So there's two trend lines. This is the first trend line, and the second trend line is usually the second trend line would have been like from there to there, but was there a reason for that? It's a bit too, it's a bit too it was a bit too late to draw something like this by the time we were in this chart, right? But I guess you could have done that still. I guess you could have done that still. Okay. So we looked at that. There's a note I wrote down somewhere. I think it's in my book somewhere. I'm gonna have to look. There's a note I wrote down about this, because I remember saying, I remember the reason why this didn't play out is because this gave us a hint that this would happen right here, where this has been tested and then it continues in direction, right? This is very interesting. I don't want to lie. There was actually no need for us to lose anything on this trade. Had I just read this properly and known that this thing is only going to reverse here. Had I just read that properly, there wouldn't have been the need for me to lose money there. But as you can see, this thing just continued into direction shortly after. So yeah, I think here let's just use because why would I focus on the buy specifically? Yeah, I think here let's just use this 1 minute confirmation. What time was it? So this was from 1/2 past. And then it gave us a sell confirmation at half. Yeah, it gave us a sell confirmation. Why didn't I enter the sell though? I think I didn't enter the sell because yeah, this makes more sense. I didn't enter the sell because I was looking to take this thing up because of this. I was looking to take this thing up because of that. Okay, I know what to write. Okay, under the instrument, what I'm gonna write is we had a weak trend line. We had a weak trend line. And yeah, we had a weak trend line. And then what? Let me see. Let me think. I'm trying to describe this exactly, because this became a weak trend line because of this indicator that got tested. Let me say it. Weak trend line. You know, Excel sometimes, bro. Sometimes I forget that I'm using Excel. Excel is not the same as Word. Weak trend line because of tested indicator. Weak trend line because of a tested indicator, right? We had a weak trend line because of a tested indicator. That's what we were looking at. And because of that, obviously this is on the 1 minute time frame. That's our time frame that we were using. And the session, obviously this is New York. This is New York session. The forecast, bullish forecast. What was our entry? Our entry was 3231. 3231. That was our entry. What was our target? Okay, I think this was my TP1. I think this right here was probably my TP1. So that's 3,249,43. Wait, how much is that? Wait, I want to see something real quick. 3,231, right? 397 somewhere. Okay, this was a 1 to 2. That's good. That's good. I've also realized, I think from now on my TP1 has to be a 1 to 2. I think my first take profit from now on will always be a 1 to 2 ratio, depending on if maybe circumcision depending on if circumstances differ. But I think default, like the default thing, our TP1 has to be a 1 to 2 ratio, right? I think next to target, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna write this down in my notes. I'm gonna write this down in my notes. Trading plan notes. Default take profit 1 has to be 1 to 2 risk to reward in brackets. Okay. So if that's our TP, that's our thingy, right? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a formula on the Excel spreadsheet. Then I'm gonna copy this formula, but it needs an if condition. In this formula, I'm gonna have to put an if condition. If the forecast is bullish, then it has to add 2 points. If the forecast is bearish, it has to it has to add 16 points. If the forecast is bearish, it needs to minus 16 points. So that's a formula that I need to do. But for now, I think I'm just gonna keep it static. I'm just gonna keep it manual, and I'm gonna do it myself. So right now, I'm just gonna write 3, 3, 2, 3, 2. So 31 plus 16. How much is 31 plus 16? It's 47, right? 47. 47. So that's our first take profit. 47. So from now onwards, our first take profit has to be a 1 to 2 ratio. It has to be a 1 to 2 ratio. That's our first take profit. Our first take profit is has to be a 1 to 2 ratio. Our first take profit has to be a 1 to 2 ratio. Okay, our second target. How much was my second target here? I think my second target was really large. So my second target was 3,351. Do I want it? No, 3,351. I think for now I'm just gonna keep it at that. 3,351. 3,351. I want to check where that 3,351 came from, but after this, when I'm done filling in the trading plan, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear my charts, and I'm gonna identify what it is that I want to keep into this coming week, and what it is that I want to clear. So I think when we do that, we'll recognize which levels are significant and so forth. But one thing I really have noticed about this strategy that I've been using, the 430 strategy, either way, wherever I put a trade and then I put a stop loss trade, whether it's bullish or bearish, the levels of the stop loss are really significant, and it really shows me that around that time there's a good deal of people who are trading more or less something similar than what I'm doing. So, okay, I'm gonna put my stop loss at oh yeah, stop loss has to be -8, right? So 32, 32. Okay, so 32, 31 minus 8 is, that's 7. 7 minus 10 is 3, so that's 23, right? 23. That's my stop loss. Okay, so did this trade hit stop loss? Let's see. It looked like it went into profits a bit. It looks like a 1-to-1. Doesn't really look like much of a 1 and 2. Looks like a 1-to-1. What is this price? It was at the, yeah, this is a 1-to-1. So it hit a 1-to-1 and then it went back and then it hit my trade. I think it's just so interesting how you see it came to the stop loss and then went up again. Very interesting. It means had this thing like come to the stop loss straight up and hit, it means we would have entered that trade and we would have had another 1-to-1 right here. But that did not happen. Let's just make peace with the fact that that did not happen, and I won't record any inaccurate information. So this hit my stop loss. Yes, it did hit my stop loss. Was this a loss? Yes, it was a loss. How I usually define my losses is if my TP1 wasn't hit. If my TP1 wasn't hit, then it obviously it was a loss. If my TP1 wasn't hit, then obviously it was a loss. You know, this really makes me, I'm realizing something. Okay, I'm gonna change certain things from the past, because I think from the past I was trying to target my TP2 as well. So now that I know how to identify a trade as profits, so from now on, how I will identify the trade as profitable trade is if it has a 1-to-2 risk to reward. If it has a 1-to-2 risk to reward, that is my definition of a profitable trade. So from now on, I think that's what I'll look at. Also, what I noticed now, usually when I have these stop loss trades, like this one, this is a stop loss trade. Had this hit stop loss, you enter here and then you take it up, and then yeah. So what I noticed about these, I don't, when I record them here, I haven't like been recording how much profit they go into when they're triggered. So I think that's one thing I'm gonna do now. That's one thing I'm gonna do now. Wait, let me see. Yeah, this was a loss because it didn't even hit a 1-to-2. So profit wise, here we had, I think we had in this first trade, we at least hit a +8 point movement. We at least hit a 0.8 plus 0.8 profit movement. Was the trade a profit or a loss? It was a loss. It was a loss because it didn't it didn't give us a 1-to-2 ratio. Why did this lose? Well, obviously we know it hit because of this right here. So I read this incorrectly. So now I'm thinking how to write down this as a reason as to why did this trade reverse, because you can clearly see, literally, bro, literally you can clearly see this just came. What just happened now? Let me do this. You can clearly see that this trade lost because it literally came here. It literally followed this. This was telling us that this trend is weak. So this was also telling us that one of these are going to be tested. So this one was the one that got tested, as you can see, and then it went in the direction. So how would I? Okay. I like this reason. Weak trend line tested indicator. Yeah, I think yeah. I think this is going to be my reason again. Weak trend line tested indicator. I like that. I like that. What you guys think about that? Me personally, I think it's solid. I think it's solid. Wait, let me. Okay, that's cool. Dude, didn't I do this right now? Yeah, there you go. Weak trend line tested indicator. That's our reason for why this trade really didn't give us anything solid. That's going to be our reason why that indicator didn't give us anything solid. Okay, so had my stop loss indicator entered this trade, would it have been in profits or losses? I think it would have been in losses, right? Because look at this. This doesn't count as the stop loss entry. Wait, I want to see something. Maybe I missed. No. It doesn't. It definitely doesn't count. You see? Because this trade would have entered. This trade would have entered here, right? And as you can see, this is clearly a significant area. This is clearly a significant area, which is my point. That these stop losses are very significant. Maybe I'm just the one who's missing something. Not really sure what it is. It's just so tricky to analyze on my phone. I won't hold you. So had we entered there, it would have continued into a loss and we would have left the market there. Look at that, bro. Look at that, bro. It literally just went for my stop loss and then went into direction. A bit. Not completely, a bit. Also, probably wouldn't have made profit from this. I just want to emphasize my point. Okay. I think this is fine. Because we would have entered here and then would have come here. So this is a 1-to-1. So this would have also been another 1-to-1. That's also not profit. So, okay, no. So, okay, no, I'm just going to say loss. Loss, right? Loss. Okay, and then with that being said, I'm going to put in another, now I need to put in another, column. I need to insert another column. I need to insert another column. I need to insert another column. This column, I need to measure. With this column, I need to measure if, I need to measure how much profit, wait. I need to measure how much profit. I need to measure how much profit that trade would have been in. I need to measure how much profit this trade would have been in. So here we wouldn't have been in profit. So I'm just going to put that. Wait, I made a mistake. So for this trade in particular, we wouldn't have been in profit. For that trade in particular, we wouldn't have been in profit. So should I put a 0 or a, no, I'm not going to put in a 0, bro. I feel like a 0 is just, you're bringing the wrong energy. I don't like the energy that's coming with a 0. So I'm just going to put that there. Gonna put that dash over there. Okay, so let's go to Tuesday. Let's go to Tuesday. Should I skip spaces? Yeah, apparently I have been skipping spaces. So let's continue skipping spaces. Wait, did I forget to skip? Okay, problem solved. Okay, let's go to Tuesday. Monday was not a... Monday was could have been better, man, you know? It could have been better. I don't know if, like, my thing is, right? Because I think the previous week we had an occurrence like this, but we had seen that we had predicted that this thing would like completely blow past this and go up. So I don't know if I really should take note of this and prioritize it, you know? But let's see what was happening this week. Let me make note to come back to this trade. I think after, let me say bracket Monday. Let me say bracket Monday. I need to come back and analyze this trade. Okay, but anyway, for now, let's go to Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday kind of really pissed me off. I don't want to lie. I missed so much, bro. Look at all this movement from here till here. You know how much I missed here, bro? And I would have caught this trade, bro. I would have really caught that trade. But okay, anyway, we still did catch this trade. Insanely so, even. Look at this. This was mind-boggling. I don't want to lie. So this one, oh yeah, this was a 3. I remember this. This was a 3 because remember I said, okay, why is that blue so vague now? But this was a 3. I remember this trade. I had said, had this thing, okay, I'm going to go to the 5 minute, as much as I didn't want to go to the 5 minute because I didn't want to go to the 5 minute, but this was a 3. As you can see, from there up until there, we had these continuous confirmations, right, forming that 3 structure, right? So this was definitely a 3, and then we entered on the first. Let's go back to 1 minute, and then we wait. I'm at the right. No, I'm not at the right place. This is Thursday, so I'm definitely not at the right place. Yeah, so we entered at the first occurrence, taking this thing up. So obviously this was before our time, but we could have still joined here, you know. We could have still joined here for those who would have entered early. But me, because I only trade from 16:30, I joined this a bit later, so that's why this kind of happened. So yeah, let's journal this. Tuesday, Tuesday the 20th. No, yes, 20th of May, 2025. We had one position, 0.08 lot size. The market was XAUUSD. The instrument was a 3. It was the third is it the third pattern? What should we call it? Third setup. I'm gonna call it the third setup. Our third setup. Our third setup, right? Our third setup. Our third setup, and then okay. Let me just keep it as that. And then we entered based off 1 minute, right? Yeah, we clearly entered off of the 1 minute time frame. The session, New York session. Do you guys think I should start trading the London Open as well? New York. The sentiment, the forecast was obviously bullish. bullish. Do you guys think I should start trading the London Open as well? Do you guys think I should start trading the London Open? Entry, what was our entry for this one? It was here. That was our entry. 3282. 3282. No? Yes, 3282. And then what was our first take profit? Remember what I said about take profits? Our first take profit will always be plus 16 points to give us a 1-to-2 ratio. So 82 plus 6 is 98, right? 98. That's our first take profit. What was our second take profit? Let me minimize and go have a look. So our second take profit was the same as the one we had the previous week, no? The previous day, that is. Okay, I guess not, because why can't I see it? Oh yeah, there we go. Yes, it was. It was the same as Monday's take profit. Okay. You know what I'm thinking about now? I'm trying to contemplate the significance of this. I'm trying to contemplate something. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about how it might take a week for the second take profit to be hit. And I don't know how to really express that. How should I express that? Because this take profit was hit. I had this take profit since Monday. It didn't hit on Monday. It didn't hit on Tuesday. That take profit only hit on Thursday. So now I'm thinking, my second, how do I write that my second take profit only has a probability of being hit once a week? How do I write that? I don't know how should I really write that? Okay, let me write exactly what I just said. TP2 has the probability to only hit once a week. Right? That's a very interesting observation. Really, that's really a very interesting observation, because it minimizes the expectation of always trying to chase a second take profit. And also it kind of, yeah, I think this is what I should write down right now. I don't think I should try to oversaturate this note with a lot of information. I think for now, let's take this. And then, yeah, for now, let's take this. Let's take this. I'm going to take what I just put down right now. For now, I'm going to drop what I just put. Yeah. TP has the probability to only hit once a week. Take profit 2. I'm going to put in brackets the conditions that were here. That's if multiple trades have the same TP2. Yeah, what do you think about that? I just said what I wrote down. I said take profit 2 has the probability to only hit once a week. That's if wait. TP2 has the probability to only hit once a week. That's if multiple trades have the same take profit too. Okay, I like that. So what was our TP2? It's 3351 because that was also Monday's take profit too. What was our stop loss for this trade? Obviously, you have entry, which was 3282. So you minus 8 from that. So that's 2 minus 6 is 7, 4. So our stop loss is 3274. Our stop loss is 3274. And then, did this first trade hit stop loss? Yes, it did hit stop loss. It did hit our stop loss. How much did the first trade move into profits? It didn't even move into profits really. I think it's only like, I think this is like 1 point, right? Because what is this? It just looks like 1 point. 3242, that's like 2 points, bro. Really? What is that? So I'm gonna say plus, no. I'm gonna say plus 2 points. That's how much it moved into profits, right? So was this trade a profit or a loss? It was a loss. Oh yeah, I said I wanted to change these. Profit. Wait, no, Dusa, no, don't do that. You know what I was about to do? I was about to change some stuff from last week's trading plan. So I decided I'm gonna keep last week's trading plan as is. I'm gonna keep everything as is. You know what I was about to change? So from the first week, our very first week, right? We had a couple of trades that hit our TP1, but I didn't write them as profits. I wrote them as losses, with the idea that they should have been chasing our take profit too. So that's why I was about to change the loss to a profit, because they hit our TP1, but they didn't hit our TP2. You know, so I'm thinking, do you think I should change them to profit? I think I should keep them as losses, just to maintain the integrity of this sheet. Just to not remain, but maintain. Just to maintain the integrity of the spreadsheet. Okay, right. So now we are at the reason why this was a loss. Why was this a loss? This was a stop hunt. The only thing I'm seeing, this was just a stop hunt, bro. That's not even live, because it went into direction. This was a stop hunt. That's the reason why this became a loss. This was a stop hunt. As you guys can clearly see, because it hit my stop loss and then it went into direction. I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dumb, but this only became a loss because of the stop hunt. I don't know what the significance of this area or this level of price. I don't know what the significance of that was. Maybe if I do this, I'll get an understanding. I don't really know, you know. Also, it's kind of hard to tell. But I'm pretty sure we would have found multiple confirmations, and then thus giving us a 3, doing the same thing, looking for another entry above that. But we're not there. Market wasn't there when we entered, so let's not focus on that. So our stop loss entry, right? Wait, where's, oh, there it is. Our stop loss entry. Was our stop loss entry a profit or a loss? Okay, now here's the question. Was this stop loss entry a profit or a loss? Right? So our trade got triggered there. Remember, we're looking for a 1 to 2, right? And as you guys can clearly see, this is not even a 1 to 2. This is no joke, bro. This thing freaking went, bro. This thing went. And I'm talking about in it, bro. I'm really talking about in it. Look at that, bro. The whole week it continued until it hit our take profit. That one trade went throughout the whole week until it hit our take profit. So how do I write this down? How do I journal that? Do you think I should journal the 1 to 2, or do you think I should journal the fact that it was a runner? I don't know how I should journal that. I think, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to say it was a runner. Let's say profit. Was it a profit or a loss? It was a profit. How much did it run into profits, right? How much did it run into profits? Instead of actually writing the actual point form of how many points this trade could have given us, I'm tempted to do that, but my problem with that is it won't be something, what's the word that I'm looking for? It won't be something very, I think I'm just being lazy. I think I really should take note of how many points this thing went into profit. What do you guys think? I think I should really take note of how many points this thing went into profit, bro. Really. I really, really, really think I should take note how many points this thing went into profit. So, because the thing went from here up until I'll take profit, right? I am going to do the following. I'm going to minus the other stop loss with our trades take profit too. So what I need to do is minus 3274 from 3351. Okay, so let me think real quickly. Wait, 3351, 3274. Okay, that's 6, and then there's 3. That's 36. So 36 plus 51 is 87 points. It's not much, bro. It's not much, but let me say plus 87 points. Plus 87 points. Plus 87 points. And then in braces, I'm going to put a R to signify that this was a runner. To signify that that was a runner. Oh, I've spelled profit wrong here. Yeah, to signify that that was a runner, I'm going to put that R over there. Okay, I'm going to put that R over there. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's move to Wednesday. I'm going to need to start picking up the pace because... Or should I fetch... Let me fetch my charger. My blanket got trapped. Ah, really? Yo guys, if anyone feels like donating equipment, please do so, because my charger's messed up. My charger's messed up. My tripod is messed up. My laptop is messed up. My nigga, I'm really shorting equipment, bro. I'm really shorting equipment. Wait, I want to check something. Okay, that's still fine. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that was TP2. So Wednesday, the 21st, right? Let's move to Wednesday. So I think I've taken note of everything I need to take note of here, right? Yeah, I took note of everything I need to take note of. The only thing. Oh yeah, let me do this. Re-entry. I need to come back and look at those re-entries. Re-entry. Wait, this gap? I want to see something. Was there another gap here? No, there was no other gap. Because my theory is if there's a gap 2 days recurring, means on the second day, the gap will be filled instantly. That's my theory right now. Okay, Wednesday the 21st. The 21st of May 2025. Next, one position of 0.08 lots XAU USD. Right, that's the market. What was our instrument? Our instrument was, you see, this is exactly what I meant from Monday. This is exactly what I meant from Monday. Because on Monday, I did say that when I get this kind of thing going on, I want to see something. Oh, I remember this. I remember Wednesday. Wednesday, I said I didn't trust this trend line because there was no indicator there, which made this a weak trend line as a whole. Made it a weak trend line, right? No, I'm really learning something here. I'm just struggling on trying to find a way to express it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna draw it on my notebook. Indicator brackets weak trend line. Weak trend line, right? Gonna make 1 point. With this first point, what I'm gonna do is I don't have a ruler. Fuck. Okay, you know what? That's not a problem. I'm just gonna freehand it. With this ruler, with this freehand ruler, I'm gonna display what happened on Monday. On Monday, we had a trend that had 2 indicators. This reduced the probability of this thing going down. Okay, let's draw this like that. We had an indicator there and there. Also had an indicator there. We also had an indicator there. Right, I'm going to draw this. then I'm gonna draw this. Right, so first week trend line. This was the first week trend line, right? Okay, I'm gonna put in a 1 there. Let's go over it. I'm gonna put in a 2 here. I'm gonna say star, and then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna draw it as close as that as I can. Draw that. That's our first line. Our second line. Now we're gonna have that point and the market. Have this one. We have this one. We have all these other ones. We have that. Okay. How am I gonna draw this? How am I gonna draw this? Like, how am I gonna? Okay. Draw that. Okay. So indicator over there, indicator over there, indicator over there. Okay. So you know what I said, right? Well, let me do this. Second week trend line. This is our second week trend line. Okay, you know what I just took note of right now, ne? Remember, let's go back to Monday. Let's go back to Monday. It'll be easier to explain. I want to show you guys what I just took note of right now. So, what I just took note of, I said, when there's indicators like this that make a weak trend line, means we'll have an indicator that is tested in the same way, and then it'll continue going down. So now I'm thinking, had we put this trade here and said we're going to take this thing down, we would have had 8 points. Don't know if 8 points would have like been enough to hold this thing, but okay, it would have. We would have made considerable profit. We would have hit a one. What is this thing? I wanted 2 risk to reward. Okay, so that's good. So I'm gonna keep that note like that. I don't know how to write like words supporting it, but I'm gonna keep it like this for now. And then the other second trend line, the other second week trend line, which is this one from Wednesday. It's this one from Wednesday. This is the other second trend week trend line. So when we have an omitted, let me break this. Let me in columns. Tested, omitted. So yeah, this second trend line, second week trend line is a trend line that has an omitted indicator, right? Which is this one right here. This one is weak because it will break and continue in direction. Unlike the other one, where if we had a second indicator here, right, it means here we would have looked to take this thing down there, right? Yeah, yeah, that's what I can say. So yeah, yeah. Okay, wait, in brackets, let me do this. Support trend break trend. Okay, this is Wednesday. So what are we gonna take note of here? All right. What we're gonna take note of is obviously wait, I don't think I called this anything because I only have, let me check something. I don't think I named this anything else. I don't think I've named this anything. Okay, I know what I'm gonna name this thing from now on, because I'm gonna have to change this whole thing's name. I'm gonna have to change the naming of this whole thing from to my own names. So I'm gonna call it the 2 trend line. Oh wait, but isn't that's gonna be a bit confusing because of what we're gonna do is we're gonna call it, what are we gonna call this? I need a name. I need a different name for I need a different name for this trend line formation. I need a name. What are you gonna call it? Is it a standard? I think it's a I'm gonna call it a standard trend line setup. Standard trend line. Standard trend line. Standard 2 trend line setup. Standard 2 trend line setup. Yep, that sounds okay. That sounds good. I'm gonna name it as that, just a standard 2 trend line setup. But this was a weak standard 2 setup thingy. Okay. Yeah, but when I was trading this, I was looking at more than just this thing. There was also another gap that was chasing from that side. And there was also another thing I was also chasing. Well, should I also add in a momentum swing? Does look like a bit of a momentum swing. Let's do this. Standard 2 trend line. I'm gonna put in brackets week. I'm gonna put in brackets week. And then this was, which time frame was this? Looks like it was on the 1 minute time frame though. I'm not gonna hold you. Looks like it was on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, it was on the 1 minute time frame. So here my mistake here was I should have entered this from here. I guess I didn't know what to do. Um, I'm thinking. I think I entered this cell because of an indicator confirmation. I entered this cell because of an indicator confirmation. So now, what I'm gonna do? Oh, it's so difficult to journal this trade because I made a mistake there. Because now I don't know if I should make these two separate trades or because also I'm thinking, why did I sell here? Why did I sell? Because I remember this when I saw this indicator right here, that's when I decided to buy. Because we had that, but this was obviously before I put that there. So if that was there, that means this was based off the 5-minute time frame, because here there's nothing telling me to sell here. So it means that was on the 5-minute time frame. The sell was on the 5-minute time frame. So I'm gonna put that and say 5-minute time frame. Right? Okay. Yeah, I think I know what to do. I'm gonna say New York. This was obviously a New York session entry. New York session entry. Forecast was bearish for the first trade. What was our entry? Our entry was 3303. That was our first entry. Our take profit, obviously, we have to just minus 3303 minus 16, so that's 313. So 300 minus 13, so 10. That's 3290 minus 6, right? No, minus 3. So that's 3287. 3287, right? I'm gonna keep that TP1. I'm not gonna put the TP2 because I mean, we already didn't get our TP1, so I'm not gonna put in our TP2. Let me do this. Not gonna put in a second take profit. What was our stop loss? Add 8 to 330. Wait, can't say 0 because 1111. That's our stop loss. It should be 3311. 3311. Yeah. Like I said, 3311. So that's for our first trade. And then was this trade a profit or loss? It hit our stop loss. How much did it go into profits? Didn't even. Oh wait, it did. It did. It went like 2 points. 2 points into profits is nothing, bro. This is basically what you call this thing. Spread. That's basically the amount for spread, bro. So there we would have absolutely made 0, bro. Okay, was a trade a profit or loss? It was a loss. The reason, what was the reason? The reason was a loss. It was because what was the reason it became a loss? I think I didn't read this one incorrectly. I think I read this incorrectly. But that's a weird way. This looks like a momentum swing though, let's be honest. Let's be honest. This looks like a momentum swing. This looks like a momentum swing. This looks like a momentum swing. Is that enough to say that that was a reason why this trade hit? Or should I say early entry? I read incorrectly. I'm gonna say read incorrectly because I read this incorrectly, bro. I read this incorrectly. So I think that's why I lost this trade. I lost this trade because I read it incorrectly. As you can clearly see, the next thingy I made profit from. So I read this incorrectly. Or should I say early entry? Early entry is also a good definition for why I lost this trade. I'm just thinking now. I'm thinking if I say early entry. Wait, I did tell myself early entry, prioritize. Good. Early entry. I did make notes of this. It's not there. Consider strategy entry more than 16. Early entry. Okay. 16, 30 over strategy. That's why I got that wrong. I put the 1630 entry over the strategy. That's why I got that wrong. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the second entry right below it. I'm not gonna put it as the stop loss entry because I didn't enter on the stop loss. Because I really didn't enter on the stop loss. Standard. Oh, cool. Time frame. I think this was a 1 minute time frame. This was more of a 1 minute time frame. New York, yes. What was the entry for this bullish trade? 3306. 3306. Yes, 3306. Take profit. 122. So 3306 plus 16 that's 12. So 3312. 3312 plus 10 is 3322. 3322. That's our first take profit. Our second take profit. I wonder. Let me see something. Now this trade went all the way into our TP, right? Yeah, this trade went all the way to our take profit. And then market started coming down. So yes, for this one, indeed, I will have to keep. Let's do this. I think my second take profit was here. 3351. 3351. That was our second take profit. How much was our stop loss? 33. Let me go back to this trade and look for my stop loss. 33298. 3298. That was my stop loss. Did this trade hit stop loss? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, this was not a loss. How much did it go into profits? It hit our second take profit. This hit our second take profit. Profit or loss? Profit. The reason, I mean, I don't really need a reason. Because it went into profit, so that was cool. I didn't even need a stop loss entry, so that was cool. Okay, Thursday. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Patience. Patience. We're almost done. Patience. Patience. Must have a patience. Yo, guys, by the way, I'm thinking of starting up with the Italian classes again. I think from next week I'm going to be having a lot more interesting streams. I hope. That's my intention. I hope. That's if everything goes accordingly and if like mentally I'm at the right place. But I think from next week, yeah, from next, like, you know, I thought this weekend I would be preparing a lot for. I thought this weekend I'd be preparing a lot for this upcoming week. I guess not, but I guess that didn't happen. But I don't know what to say. I guess that didn't happen. I guess I just didn't prepare for next week. So next week I'm gonna be working on the clock. Thursday, the 22nd of May, 25, one position of 0.08, market Xauusd, oh pardon me, Xauusd, what was the instrument? Okay, wait, I forgot to skip a line. What was the instrument? What was the instrument that I was using for Thursday? Thursday was a sell, no? Oh, this looks like a 3, very clean. This looks like a 3. It looks like a 3, but I entered very, very early. You see, had I not entered early, I would have waited for the break, which was here. Sorry. I would have waited for a break here, and then I would have probably entered here. Then had I entered there, would have been in comfortable profit. Look at that. Those are good profits. So in conclusion, what does that mean for me? Do you think that means I should prioritize? Nah. More? Nah, I don't know. This, because as you can see, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because look at this. This went and gave a young 1 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, my take profits are so deep, bro. I won't even hold you. My take profits are insanely deep. I want to see something. Was this a 1 to 2? As you can see, this was a 1 to 2. This was a 1 to 2. So this technically should have been in profits. This should have been a profit trade, right? This is a 1 to 2, bro. This is definitely 1 to 2. Okay. Now I need a reason why I entered this trade. So I had 2 reasons why I entered this trade. The first reason was a 3. The second reason was a momentum swing. I think that's why I kept that red line there. Momentum swing going down. It was a momentum swing going down. Those were my 2 reasons why I entered that. And then the other reason was because this line had been broken here. So for now, I'm going to keep those as the 2 reasons why this thing went down. So I'm going to say momentum swing, and then in braces I'm going to put D going down, and then plus a 3. Plus a 3. 3 is the third strategy. Yeah, 3 is the third strategy. 3 plus a 3. What time frame was this? What time frame did I enter this trade? It looks like a 5-minute time frame, because I must have entered here. Because this is obviously on the 1 minute. Yeah, this was 5-minute time frame, because this is 5 minute and there's nothing on the 5-minute time frame. So this is 1 minute, but there's nothing on the 1 minute indicating a sell. So it had to be on the 5 minute. So this is New York session. What was the forecast? Forecast is bearish. Forecast is bearish. What price did I enter? 3301. Take 3301. I like it. What was our first take profit? 33017. Wait, what? The fuck, bears? 3282. Didn't I have this as something? 3282. Oh, I had it as an entry. I had it as an entry on Tuesday. 3282. 3282. That's my take profit. I'm not gonna put in a second take profit. I'm not gonna put in a second take profit. What was the stop loss? Stop loss was like, okay, 3308. I'm gonna put 3308. I don't know why. Okay, 3308. Was the trade a profit or loss? It was a profit. I didn't hit the stop loss. Shoot, I messed up. Put that there. No, it didn't hit stop loss. How much did it move into profits? It hit my TP1. Was this a profit or a loss? It was a profit. It was a profit, right? Okay. It was a profit. Reason, wait, I want to see something. Just want to see something real quickly. Look at this. I'm a bit curious, right? I'm a bit curious about this. Do you think I should take note of this? Since this was a profit, a 1-to-2 ratio profit, that is. Do you think I should take note of this? I think I should. And my nigga, this was definitely a stop hunt. The fuck? That was definitely a stop hunt. Stop hunt for this trade, that is. Went there, hit that, and then went down. Should have given us a 1-to-2. Let me just steal this nigga because I'm gonna delete it anyway. Let me steal that nigga. Put that nigga over there. Exactly where he would have entered. And as you can see, that is also a 1-to-2 ratio. Okay. Stop hunt. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna put it as a stop hunt entry. I'm gonna put it on the side. Because I think no. I am gonna put it as a stop hunt entry. I'm gonna put it as a stop hunt entry. Was the stop hunt entry a profit or loss? It was a profit. How much did it go into points? It only went into points, like literally. The 1-to-2. 3287. What was the entry? 3287, 3287, 3287. So 3287, 3287, that's 3. Then that would have been 90. So that's 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. Right? 13 plus 7 is 20. So it would have been plus 20. And then in brackets, I'm going to put 1 to 2 ratio. 1 to 2. I'm going to put 1 to 2. Oof, I messed up. In brackets, I'm going to put in 1 to 2. In brackets, I'm going to put in 1 to 2. It seems like in a week, we only get like one runner for real, bro. Honestly, it only seems like in a week, we get like one runner. Okay, let's go to Friday. This is our last trade. I need a break, bro. I need to drink water or something. Damn. Okay, that was interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's go to Friday. Yeah, Friday was very calm. Friday was very calm. We barely had a 1 to 2. It didn't even go to a second take profit. It didn't even go to a second stop. It didn't go to our second trade. So I'm gonna take note of this. And I'm gonna say I need to remember to go back to mine. Oh, after this, I need to remember to do 3 things. I need to clear my charts. I need to go back to Monday's trade, and then I need to analyze Tuesday's re-entries. That's the one thing I need to do right now. Okay. Next, Friday. So, Friday, the 23rd of May, 2025. Then we had one position, 0.08 XAUUSD. Okay, what was the instrument? Why did I enter this trade? Seems like here I didn't really have a reason why. I mean, you could say, wait, where was this from? Where was this from? Was this from? Okay, this was from here. That's cool. I guess this was from the 5-minute time frame. Would have been difficult to draw a line there. I guess that's why I didn't draw a line like this, because there was no indicator right here. So I didn't draw a line like that. So I think here, okay, I'm gonna go to 30 minutes. Damn. Is that a momentum swing? Damn, I love momentum swings, bro. Okay. I think the reason why I took this trade, obviously, the first reason is because of a break of this standard trend line. Break of standard trend line, that's the first reason why. Break standard trend line breakout. Break Standard trend line breakout. So that was the first reason why I took this trade. I need more reasons. Come on. Come on, I need more reasons. The more I know, bro, the more I know, the better. The more I know, the better, bro. I think right now that's the only reason why. That's standard. That's standard trend line breakout. Is really the reason why I did that. It's really, really, really the reason why I did that. Wait, before I go to the 1 minute, I want to confirm this trend list. You see, that's why I drew this indicator right there. That's why I drew this indicator right there. This one. Yeah, like I said, last week was very difficult to find entries. It wasn't so simple to find entries last week. Okay. Yada yada yada. Yada 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 yada. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Let's take that standard breakout as the instrument. I can't find another reason why. Yeah, I think right now that standard breakout was the only reason why, and then I only entered on the 1630. Let me do this. Plus 1630 plus 1630. What time frame? 1 minute? No. 1 minute? No. Yes. Yes. This was on the 1 minute. This was on the 1 minute time frame. Session. New York session. Bearish. Bullish. Bullish forecast. Entry. What was our entry? Our entry was 3351. 3351. Damn. So imagine had I held that other one on 3351. Okay. Our first take profit. Remember, we always do 1 to 2. 1 to 2. So 33 plus 16 is 3367. Wait, what? Yeah, 3367. 3367. I'm not gonna put in a second take profit. Not gonna put in a second take profit. What was our stop loss? 3343. 3343. Does that make sense? Well, man, I hope so. Yeah, it does. Was this trade a profit or loss? It was a profit, so there's no need to write how much it went into losses. It was a profit. And then did it take profit? How much did it move into profits? It hit our TP1 and this went into profit. I didn't enter a stop loss entry this week. Okay, so this is the trading plan for this week. I think I've concluded my trading plan for the whole of May. So I think what I'm gonna do from next week onwards, and I think I'm gonna need to remind myself. Let me do this, cause I don't trust y'all. Y'all niggas, man. I keep asking y'all to help me, but clear trading plan for May. I don't really want to clear it, honestly speaking. It would be cool if I could some way, somehow arrange my trading plans into months, Don't know how I'd necessarily be able to do that, but just saying it would be cool if I could do that. So now what I need to do now what I need to do is the following. I need to go back to Monday's trade. I don't know why I told myself I need to go back to Monday's trade, but apparently I need to go back to Monday's trade. Yeah, see, that wasn't a good idea. Don't know why. Why did I tell myself I need to go back to Monday's trade? Yo guys, why did I need to go back to Monday's trade? Has a 1 to 2 risk to reward profit. Yo, why did I need to go back to Monday's trade? I don't recall why I needed to go back to Monday's trade. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I forgot why I needed to go back to Monday's trade. Okay, re-entries. Re-entries was on Tuesday, right? I need to study these re-entries. Okay, look at this. You know what I noticed about re-entries? I'm gonna put y'all on game. You know what is the one thing I studied about re-entries? The most perfect way to start re-entering a trade is if a trade leaves, right? It enters trade, it leaves. That's good. We don't enter until one of these conditions are met. Until it breaks the most significant price level of price, right? So right here would have been the most significant level of price. So it didn't break that. So what do? We wait for it to go back to our entry and create a pattern, right? Either you wait for it to go back to entry and create a pattern, or you wait for it to go at least midway of our stop loss and then create a pattern. Only once it's only at the second indicator, right? Second or third indicator, not the first, because the first usually it could still go down. So the second or third, that's where you start re-entering. So you wait until it go back to entry, or go somewhere into our stop loss, or into our risk, right? And then it creates this pattern with the stop loss indicators, and then either the second or the third, you can start re-entering. I'd advise to look for re-entries on the 5 minute, but you can also use the 1 minute. Me personally, I prefer the 5 minute because with the 1 minute you get indicators like every second, bro. So, you know, that's the one thing I've learned so far about the re-entries. The other thing that I do need to learn is how to like scale up all the way like here, and how to avoid, because for example, had I taken these, how would I have avoided this drawdown? That's the one thing I need to learn now. How to avoid this drawdown. That's what I need to learn. But I think right now this is the one thing, and I've held this thing down, so this is cool. I could also hold this, right? Or I could say the same thing applies here. So once we've left this price, I've just unlocked myself, bro. Re-entry notes, right? So profit market phases, right? So phase one is first significant price level, right? This is the first significant price level. So for example, so what I'm basically saying, profit market phases, right? So below this is the first okay, so realize this is where we're entering. So below this, because this is the first significant market level. That's the first level, right? So below this is the first phase. This is the first phase. Above this is the second phase, right? The second phase goes all the way until, I think you could say up until here. Yeah. So this is the second phase. Let me put this. First phase, second phase. First phase, second phase. There has to be a third phase. I think we could say this is the third phase. That is the third phase. Yes. Okay. Okay, right. Now look, I think here we're gonna put the same thing that we put. We're gonna put the same mentality for re-entries that we put in the when market goes back to our entry, right? So here what we will say on how to re-enter around the first phase. So around the first phase, the only way to re-enter that I recommend around the first phase, right? Around the first phase, around first significant price, brackets, first phase. Wait for retest of entry and wait for second indicator, right? Okay, so since this is the first phase, what do we wait for? We wait for first either market goes up and comes back and retests the entry, right? Or goes down and retests here, right? But either way, that's not our deciding factor. Our deciding factor is the second indicator, right? It's the second indicator. Once you get the second indicator, then you can start to do that. Is that 8 points? Huge, that's so much. Then you can start to do that, right? Okay, cool. So that's how to identify that first entry. So now we've left the first phase. Now we're at the second phase. Second phase, we wait until we identify. Let me do this. Second significant price level. Second phase. Wait until second significant price level identified. So, like I said, this is the first phase. The second phase, we wait until the first, what am I looking, why do I want to say? We wait until the second, because remember, this is the second phase, right? Let's do that. Share card. second phase. Let me do this. Put this here. First phase. And then third phase. Third phase. Right. So those are 3 phases. So those are our 3 phases, right? Okay, cool. So our first phase, what was my rule for? What was our rule for the first phase? Wait, okay, let's go back to the first phase. Right? Our first phase, wait for retest of entry and wait for second indicator, right? So breaks, wait for retest of entry or somewhere within the risk, and then wait for our second confirmation indicator, right? Then you can start to re-enter. That's our first phase. Our second phase, we wait and identify the significant level, right? The significant, what's this word? The significant, yeah, price level, right? So some would argue that it's here. I would also argue if you would have put it there, I wouldn't have held it against you. So for argument's sake, I'm gonna put that here and do this. Let's start it like this. Let's say some would have said this was our second significant level, right? So to retest, to re-enter, right, we would have waited for why is this thing not wanting to? Yeah, we would have waited for this to be identified, and then we would have waited for that, and then what do you guys think? Do you think it would be better to try and re-enter down here or up here? Me personally, I think it would have been better to try and re-enter somewhere here, because had we tried to re-enter there, look, if we do this, we'd have still been in this trade. No, not 3 points, 8 points. 8 points. Okay, that's a bit more than 8 points, but you know, nevertheless, let's get a 1-to-2 ratio. Damn, we couldn't get a 1-to-2 ratio. Also, that stop loss is quite huge. Yeah, more or less, no? Yeah, more or less. Why is this thing here, man? 1-to-2, more or less. Yes. Now look at this. You see? Hence I'm saying some could have argued that this would have been our second significant level. Then we would have re-entered here. And then we would have taken it up until there, giving us a 1-to-2. I don't know. I think I'm okay with this. I think I like this. Right? Because also, okay, let's bring back the AC indicator. Let's bring that back. And then let's start drawing indicators. No, nigga, you're too random. Why are you there? Let's follow this, put that there. See, that's his 5 minute. So since that's 5 minute, is that too low? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. guys, bear in mind that what I'm doing right now, I am learning. I haven't done this before. I'm learning how to optimize this skill. So that's why it might take a while for me to figure out what exactly to say right now. Okay. Because remember, the first thing you have to do is identify the significant level. So we're saying this would have been identified, that would have been identified. Cool. Now we're waiting for this significant level to go. We're waiting for price to go from the significant level and retest the first significant level, because this is the second. So retest the first, retest there. Then once it's retested, you look for a confirmation indicator somewhere near here. As you can see, we would have used this one there. I like that one. Same thing applies here. This looks like a retest. This looks like just went there, retested here. So either way, had you entered here or even here, you would have still been safe, because it wouldn't have went through to the 8 thingy. Wouldn't have went through to that, right? So you would have been cool in that sense. Okay, now let's go to the third phase. This is the third and final phase. Here, I think we would have identified. So I would have probably used this one more than this one, right? I think here though, you see, that's the thing. That's why I don't want to, because what I would have said, what I was about to say is that here I would advise to just put an entry here and take it up. But clearly this has shown us, because let me use the brush. Had we have done that, we would have lost there. We would have lost here. This one would have worked out though. A re-entry here would have worked out. How about this? How about this re-entry here? How about this re-entry here? And then 8 points. Then 1 to 2. Let's look for 1 to 2 right now. See, it wouldn't have given us a 1 to 2. Would it have? No, it wouldn't have given us a 1 to 2. Unless you would have held all the way up until here. Yeah, then, because after that, it goes crazy. I'm struggling to find an entry on the third phase. I'm struggling to find an entry in the third phase. I think this really shows me that I can't trust the third. The third phase is very untrustworthy. Very untrustworthy. Because it looks like on the third phase, it goes from the third phase up until the second. And then from the second, then it can continue going back up. I want to see something though. I want to see, would this second phase entry have survived this drawdown? It looked like it would have. How about that? How about, right, hear me out. How about, instead of on the third entry, wait, I didn't take down notes on the second entry. Wait for second significant price level identified, then wait for price to go back to the first significant level, then wait for indicator confirmation. Then wait for price to go back to the first significant level, then wait for indicator confirmation to re-enter. Yeah, I think on the second phase we don't have to wait for the second indicator confirmation, because yeah, I think there we don't have to wait. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna put in the third. I'm gonna put in the third point. Yeah, okay. So you see, the third phase is a bit more tricky. So I'm gonna say third significant price level. Then in brackets I'm gonna say third phase. I'm gonna say third phase in brackets, right? Wait until second significant price level. Okay, now remember, making notes on the third phase. Now I'm making notes on the third phase. And I said it's gonna be tricky just entering when this significant level is broken. That wouldn't work. That also wouldn't work. This one gave us the second confirmation. It gave us the third indicator price level. So I don't even want to consider that as a place we could have entered. This one we could have entered here, but this is not really ideal, because it didn't even give us a 1 to 2. So because it didn't give us a 1 to 2, this is cool, but it's not what we're looking for. It's a very, what can I say? It's a thank you, but you can do better. It's a thank you, but you can do better. So I would say, after identifying the third significant level, which is this one in this point, in this sense, hold on. Yo, why doesn't this thing want to show up? This is the third significant level. That's identified. And then once you come back down to the second significant level, you could try to re-enter. I mean, look at that. It really tested it, though. It looks like it really tested it. But as you can see, it did go back into profits and given you an interesting amount of points. I wouldn't recommend this, though. I wouldn't recommend this, especially if you're trying to get the most out of this trend. The most being what happened right here. Because look at what happened. Look at what happened here. It broke there, but it didn't go all the way up. It broke here and it continued going up. So what's the trick here? The trick here is to catch it down here. Is to catch it properly down here. That's the trick there. Now, this is going to be tricky. I don't want to lie to you. This is going to be tricky. Catching this third phase is going to be insanely tricky. This is going to be a different level of skill that you're going to need to catch this one. To catch the second one, you're going to need a different level of skill. I don't want to lie. Because obviously when this thing is actually going down in real time, it might give a number of different indicators. And finding the right one is the trick and where the skill comes. So for argument's sake, I would recommend looking for the second indicator confirmation in the second phase when this thing starts to go up. I would recommend that personally. I'd recommend looking for the second indicator. And then once you get the second, I'm going to delete this. I don't know, maybe this was a serious entry. I don't know what that was, but I will put that there. I would put this entry for the third indicator there. And then we could do this. And then you can go to town with that entry. And then you can freaking go to town with this entry, bro. You could go to town with that entry. I think that was the max, bro. This is the max that gold can do within a space of time. That is the absolute max that gold can do for you. You see, once you've caught this, bro, once you've caught what I just analyzed, bro, once you catch that and you master this, there's no way within the end of a month you won't be a millionaire. Once you've mastered this, once you catch this and master what I've just broken down right now, there is absolutely no way, bro, that you won't be a millionaire. Absolutely no way, bro. No freaking way. There's absolutely no way, bro. No way, no way, no way. There's no way, bro. No way. There is no way niggas ain't gonna be millionaires, bro. After breaking this thing down like this, come on, bro. Don't play with me. The fuck? What the hell, bro? Don't fucking play with me. Because you see what I'm saying about the third phase. If this was our second phase and this was our third phase, wait for the second phase, come, and then look for indicator confirmation there. Now what I'm going to do is, you see there's no other indicator confirmation but that one. So you could have in the same sense done this. You could have in the same sense did that. You could have in the same sense did that. So with this third one, I'm going to say, wait until third significant price level identified. Then wait for price to go back to let's say to the I don't want to say the first, because this is the first significant. Well, let's say more or less the first significant level. What do you think about that? I think, let's say, end of, beginning of second phase. Beginning of second phase. Then wait for indicator confirmation. Wait for indicator confirmation to re-enter. Okay. This is good. This is good for a number of reasons. Because, hear me out. If you do this, right? Remember, I'm going to cancel this because this was just an observation and it was an incorrect observation. I'm about to tell you what the good thing about what I just said now is. The good thing is, with the second phase entry, you wouldn't have to close it. You can just keep it, because even if it goes to the third phase and goes back down, look at how far it went down. It only went down up until here. So even here, had this one also been tested, you know. Okay. Also, guys, I just want to emphasize that this is also just something I've just studied right now. It doesn't increase the probability of this thing happening. However, I think the next time we have a runner, we'll analyze it. And if it meets these conditions, it increases the probability of what we just studied right now. It increases the probability of what we just studied right now. So, yeah, I think for today, we could just leave that here. I think now, let me do this before I end this live. Should I draw this? I'm thinking of drawing this next to these notes. Alright. I'm thinking of drawing this next to these notes. Okay. Market example. I'm going to use a 3 because it was a 3. Let's draw this. Alright, just do that. Let's break it there. And then we had our first turning point right there. And then if that was our first turning point, let's just do this. It's fine like this. Now, for obvious reasons, let's break it and go to a second point. Yep. Okay, let's draw that. Now let's take it all the way up. Let's take it all the way up. Let's do this. We just dot. I'm dotting the first significant line, second significant line. Dotting the second significant line. Now I'm going to the third significant line. Dotting that. Okay, it looks like market tried to go down, and it went up. Then it went down. Then it went down, all the way until the second significant line. Then on the second significant line, it started going back up. Until it passed the third significant line. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write down the time frame of everything. Let me start this here. This was Tuesday. I'm gonna say Tuesday, the 20th of May, 2025, up until let's take it up until this point. This was Thursday. Up until Thursday, the 22nd of May, 2025, right? 3-phase profitable 3-phase re-entry. 3-phase re-entry, right? Okay, I'm gonna put this as the this is the first phase. That's obviously that, and then this is the second phase. Then draw that, and this is the third phase. That's the third phase. Okay, and then within these whole things, wait, did I forget? I forgot. Frick! I forgot how to draw. I forgot I should have added on the first how to get a re-entry on the first thingy. God, I needed to add that. Because this was our entry. Okay, that was our entry. Let me see this. Re-entry. Cool. Okay, goes to that, then comes back down. Then re-entry. What's the next re-entry? So in the third phase, we really don't have a re-entry for a while. Only up until it does this. Then that's our re-entry. Or, let me see. No, because I think, let me try put an 8-point thing right here. You see, wait, does that look stopped out? That looks good. So I think if you're not trying to wait, until Thursday, you could do this. But it is, that's hardly a 1 to 3. That's hardly a 1 to 2. That is hardly a 1 to 2 ratio. Hardly. Yeah, that's not even a 1 to 2, bro. So, but I mean, if you want to, you could. As you could see, it did play out. It didn't hit stop loss. If you want to enter when this thing breaks. But I mean, look at this. It would have broken here. So you see why I wouldn't recommend entering here. The same thing. The same thing here. I wouldn't recommend entering there. I think the only time I would recommend entering here is on the first phase. It's on the first phase. That's the only time. And also on the first phase only once this has happened, only once you've re-entered. That's the only time I would suggest entering here. Interesting observations. Interesting observations. So because of what I just did now, I'm still gonna sit and analyze this. I don't want to clear my charts right now. I'm gonna sit and analyze everything I just did right now, and then take away what I take away, screenshot what I screenshot, and then I'll see you guys Monday. At 16:30. Is there anything else I need to say? Not that I know of. So yeah.